right, let's talk about the Victorinox 84mm small climber. I'm Petey Grizz. Thanks for watching. This is, my favorite size of Swiss Army knife is the 84mm. And I know they made them going way back. I'm not sure when they started. I'm pretty sure they started out not long after the, 1902, offering them in both sizes. But regardless of that, it's just the perfect size for me. I like that 1/4 inch makes a big difference for whatever reason. And it's also fun because the ones with scissors are, as most people know, harder to find because they stopped making the scissors something like 30 years ago. And so, this is my 70s. So it's got the clip blade. This one's in really great shape. Oop, not anymore. It's got, the main blade. It's basically unused. The scissors are interesting because they have a black spring instead of chrome. You usually see chrome. I kind of wonder if the black spring is one they use to replace the ones that came with the older style spring, because that hole is a little smaller for the older style spring, and it's always hard. You got to kind of crimp down the roll on the new springs to get them into the old ones. This doesn't have the patent on the can opener, so it's definitely after 1973. It doesn't have the Victoria stamp. It has a fluted corkscrew. It has no key ring, no scale tools, no tweezers, no toothpick, which I like that look. It gives it a really clean, elegant, simple, Plus, if I'm going to carry it, I would always have my little 58 with them in it anyway, so it's just redundant. This is a 60s, same thing, just it has the 5-turn corkscrew rather than the 4-turn, still fluted. Of course, these reamers, look the same pretty much to the 80s. They did change the tip a little bit. They don't have the hole in them, of course. It has the Victoria tank stamp. Which went from, I believe, 57 to 73, thereabouts. This one, it's a shame. It has a little bend in the tip. And it also, I'm not going to be able to catch it on camera. You might barely see it right there. It says Ottenberg Basel, which is a city in Switzerland. I was about to say Sweden like a dummy. And Ottenberg was a family that sold knives in that region. So, let me just put these so you can see them. The thing about the scissors is, you'll find in forums, you'll often be told this old wives' tale that the 84mm scissors, they stopped making them because the machine broke. That's ridiculous. Around 85, 86, both them and Wenger both updated their factories heavily. And as this line was, their 84s were kind of a precursor to the Victorinox, basically a cheaper version. And they weren't selling as well as the 91mm, so they cut back the line. They made a bunch of changes. That's around the time the pliers were introduced. The hole comes in to the reamer, and such. A bunch of changes were made. The Swiss champ was introduced, so they definitely modernized their line. But this idea that stamping machines are giant machines, and they don't just make one part. You change out the dies, and they make whatever part you want. Any machine that makes any of these parts can make any of the other parts if you change the dies out. And it's not the kind of machine, it's not like your car engine where it breaks down and you rip it out and replace it. It's the kind of machine you fix because the whole room's built around it. So it just doesn't make any sense that the machine broke. My father was a machinist. I worked as an electrician on heavy machines, fixing them when they break. And I can tell you, they don't just rip them out willy-nilly and throw them out. More than likely, they updated the factory, and they decided to cut back on that line and focus their sales more on 91mm and reduce the variations they had in their line. Just streamlining, basically. But you're still going to hear people argue that, the machine broke. That's just silly. But, so I'm sure I probably pissed somebody off now, which was my point. I'm looking forward to making more of these videos, so if you happen to see this and you enjoy it, subscribe, and I'll try to put out a video like every week or so. All right, thanks. Petey Grizz out.